on 5 smoke already, but it probably will just be for the sake of setting up for a first blood. Get in that position, get ready for it, as Dominant needs to be very cautious about this warding vision. Gets a ward down, but they did spot him out. Nice little lift up though. Does put Husky onto the cliff and is actually going to be safe to get his way out. I thought Lelis might roll in, but he went for the boulder smash instead and actually kicks down Husky off the cliff. So no TP necessary. Sadly, though, you don't get the first blood you really wanted.
Yeah, I think that's fine. You take away vision. That feels pretty big, honestly. That cliff spot is pretty useful for Dire side. So taking away that control, taking away the safety net of just, I guess, contesting the pulse, it's pretty good in stabilizing the lanes for now. And so you don't mind that too much. Bait are trying to sneak in a little bit. Maybe they find a flank here, but not going too hard.
Just a bit of damage onto the Ursa, not too big of a deal. We'll fight over the bounty runes though, as they will spawn up. It's like nouns should be able to secure 2, but at least for now they've only got 1. Chase is on. It's going to be a 3-for-1 trade. Problem is Lodine's been caught out and he is just dead. Husky able to secure the kill here on the Enchantress. And it's nice to get the 3 bounty runes, but giving the first blood gold back the way of the Ench is not going to be the best feeling in the world for Lodine.
No, certainly not. And you know, it's been a rough series for Lodine on the CM. Again, he's got a decent enough lane with Ursa on hand, but they're going to need to wait for level 2, possibly level 3 to get aggressive in. And just jumping onto Visage is always a bit rough. They do manage to just trade a little bit with Husky. Don't have the lift to break that TP, so does bail out. I think the lane for Bait to watch out for is still that mid, as we were talking about, right? Like Dendi up against Gunnar. This has to be a better lane for Dendi. He has to make it better. Because if Gunnar gets off to that running start once more, I am a bit worried. Because it has to be the Pango setting that pace, and it feels like when we've seen a Pango not hit, say, a good timing on the defusal and not able to really run around, inhibit people, get the roll down, it feels really awkward to play it from behind when you're the only playmaker.
Dominant dropping low, but so is Yamsun. Yamsun does end up going down on the Monkey King. They do eventually pick off Dominant here with Husky, but a pretty big pick off already for Bait in this off lane. Svanik able to secure the position 1 of the side of Nouns.
It sets a good tone. Again, coming out with much stronger laning starts here for Bait. And Funnick just sneaking away with a kill. It's a little bit harder for the Monkey King to just directly trade with Scorched Earth still being available. I am curious if Funnick will opt for more into the Devour, just because of that level 1 nerf being the most massive one for the Doom. But if he still goes for the aggressive, say, 1-3-1 build, this lane doesn't get that much easier for Yamsun. Like, Husky has to be on point with his positioning, on point with when he uses the enchant to slow them down a bit, and trade those blows with the impetus, because this is not the safest lane for a Monkey. At the same time, once you do have, say, level 2 Jingu, it gets a lot more manageable.
Go for a bit of a chase now into Funny. Won't last for too long, though. Dominant ensuring the chase does not continue. And how's that top lane going? Roll in. Stonebank going to find himself in a bit of danger, as it was a nice little setup there by Lelis. And with the Soul Assumption, they do secure his Lodine. He's still trying to go in, but he might die. He hasn't got the damage. Oh, he hasn't got the damage. Crystal Maiden problems. What can you do?
Yeah, Crystal Maiden problems. I mean, that nerf to Crystal Nova, right? Like,
yeah.
And that's actually a little bit of it coming into play there. And this is the one lane we need to see more coming out from Bait. But as you mentioned, up against a Visage, even trading is really difficult if Mu is just around to get that stacks of Soul Assumption up. And you can't really play that aggression you'd want to. We've seen Lelis be a little bit more patient on the Earth Spirit as well, just looking for boulder smashes around instead of just a roll in first. So allowing himself some room for error just in case, and not allowing himself to overextend and get into that zone where you can be punished by the Frostbite. Really, really disciplined play coming out from Nouns here.
Oh, absolutely. It's not too hard to land the boulder smash as well, especially if you get a nice little grave chill off to slow them down to set up. Stonebank, like, you've got the Earth Shock, but be a little bit hard to avoid a nice boulder smash positioning from Lelis. You see Stonebank already feeling kind of nervous again in this top lane, though he does at least have 20 CS. So the farm is coming in on the Ursa, but he kind of gets the point that he's not invincible in this laning stage, and well, quite frankly, he might actually have the disadvantage now as the Ursa. They could look to chase him down once again if Lodine does venture too far away from the top lane. For now, though, it does seem like things are going to calm down a little bit. In fact, both lanes are quite calm at the moment. Neither side really getting too aggressive. Funnick, in the meantime, he has got the mana burn creep up, so does have that very annoying mana burn and constant mana regen coming in. Of course, you do see Gunnar chasing down Dendy underneath the tier 1 tower, just because he can. Does have the level 2 reactive. Sadly for Dendy, there's just not much he can do about it.
Yeah, it's almost a repeat of game 1 in terms of his CS. Like, Gunnar's got this overwhelming start once more. It should be a lot harder for Gunnar to just look for the burst plays onto Dendy. But again, this is the Pangolier that kind of needs to make these plays. I'm hoping to see Bait probably just get successful support rotations by the 6-minute mark. Rune control just massive. Especially if you find a good spawn in the first rune, then that can open up some avenues for Dendy to get some angles in, get some aggression going on the side lanes, catch up in these kills. Because this kind of laning start, it doesn't feel good.
Well, there is a bit of an appearance here from Lelis. Dendy, hanging around that tier 1, does commit the swashbuckle. And here comes Husky from the side. Dendy's got no way to escape this, I don't think. Though he does have help incoming. Stomin and Lodine are going to show up, trying to move in onto Lelis, and they will be able to secure the Earth Spirit eventually. Handing Dendy a kill on the Pangolier. Very nice rotations from the support of Bait, ensuring their mid-Pango does not end up dropping in this scenario. Thankfully, they do show up at the perfect moment, because had they not, Dendy, he would have just been dead. In fact, now they'll try into Gunnar. He is a bit harder of a target to try and take down. Gunnar, still going to be just fine. Does pick up the Invis rune. In the meantime, though, Stonebank ends up going down on the Ursa.
It's a solo lane. It's a vulnerable Ursa into that Visage. They see the opportunity from nouns. They get a good punishment off. Losing rune controller for Bait kind of takes away the bite from that rotation.
Lift up on Yamsun. Funnick being blocked here by Husky. You do have the Jingu Mastery. Problem is he doesn't have the balance. Dendy, in the meantime, gonna miss this swashbuckle. Maybe would have had enough damage to secure the kill on the Monkey King had he landed it. Now the chase is back on for Funnick. Balance is gonna land. They've got the enchant slow as well, but they don't even need it. Lelis does have the boulder smash to secure, and in the meantime, Lodine just getting dived in the tier 1 mid tower. He is gonna drop. Now sitting at 7-2 as they go for more. Stominan's been slowed up by the blood grenade. He's also gone. They'll hand the kill over to Yamsun. And look at that, John. Perfect timing. Wisdom runes are up. So both wisdom runes gonna go the way of nouns.
It's gonna feel great. So much EXP with that buffed wisdom runes. It feels awful to lose it. And you know, Mike, I heard that little chuckle when you saw Lodine die. You know, I heard that little chuckle of joy, you sicko.
Bottom, Stominant. They've got the Wild Wing Ripper creep now. Yamsun's going to get jumped. He needs some help right here, right now, though. He might get the Jingle off in time with the balance. He should be able to heal up and does do so just enough to walk away from Funnick. Stominant and Lodine, they do show up, unable to secure a kill off the Husky. There's now Stominant trying to move it onto Yamsun. Does have enough, just barely to secure the Monkey King kill. So in the end, Nouns maybe going a little bit too far. Still, Lodine is being chased down. Look at this shot. This is a hero losing to a neutral creep. Imagine that.
Okay, yeah, now that's worthy of a little bit of a chuckle. That's CM. That's the Wolves of Ice Rack right there.
That was just sad.
Yeah.
It's just
I don't get why CM's so proud of being as swift as the Wolves of Ice Rack. Those are some really bad wolves. Like they're very hungry and sad wolves, Mike.
Not a good cat, Jonathan. That they are. To be fair, Husky does have level 3 enchant, so the creeps do hit rather hard. Like, you've got the bonus, what is it, bonus 50 damage on the creep. So, you know, I'm trying to find some positives. See, I don't hate the CM that much, Jonathan. See? I'll be positive to all. Here we go. Lowdine's going to pull off a play. I know it. I see something great happening here for Lowdine.
Shut up, Mike. There you go. That's the play. That's the play. That's the play.
Imagine being a CM enjoyer. What can you do?
I don't need to imagine, Mike. I know that feeling.
Yeah,
I don't think I've touched this here in a long time. I mean, again, it's not that it's a bad hero right now. It's definitely in the meta. It's just they've not been able to really maximize it. And
Funny.
looking for Funnick.
They are. Funnick does have help now, though. Dendi is here. Doom's going to be popped. Swashbuckle does not connect. A nice little sidestep from Gunner, and now the Boulder Smash. Landing on two. Dendi, he has the Rolling Thunder, but he hasn't popped it. He'll just try to escape again. Roll is there, though. Lela's still chasing him down. They really want the kill onto the Pango. But Dendi still juking and driving the best he possibly can, but it's too late. The Soul Assumption lands from Moo. That's going to be enough to secure the mid Pango. And would you believe it? Gunner's going to go for a chase onto Lowdine. Though he misses the Chakram, that might be enough for Lowdine to walk out. Soul Assumption does land, but it's not going to be enough.
Dire's courier has been killed.
And that's Doom committed from Funnick onto Gunner. It does literally nothing. Like, he's just fully healed up. They're not able to commit. I'm surprised Dendi just doesn't roll the rollout immediately. And Funnick, again,
Under attack.
And we chase down. Magnetize, Boulder Smash, everything connecting here from Lelis. Funnick, he's still a tanky boy, and Lelis doesn't actually get the refresh. He wanted to get on everyone, but kind of misses out. And with that, Funnick actually walks out of there as Lelis is the one to die.
that's a big play from Funnick. He cuts the tree that Gunner wants to go down to on the chain. And without that extra damage, without that extra space, he's able to run out. Like, that was actually really smart from Funnick. Just that little tree cut with his Quelling Blade gives him that opening.
Very, very nice here from Funnick. Problem is, though, the tier 1 mid tower is still going to be under siege, and you're seeing the win probability there, 75% for nouns at the moment. Can I just say as well, Jonathan, big fan of this new phylactery item, if that's how you pronounce it. And on Visage, it actually seems so broken.
Oh yeah, it's a positive feedback loop. You're all probably always just gonna have the damage. Keep spamming out. All the stats are something Visage loves. It's just a little bit strange that it doesn't build into anything. Maybe down the line it'll have an upgrade path, like say Witchblade when it got the Revenant's Brooch. So that's something down the line that I'm keen to seeing. But yeah, Visage is one of those heroes that uses it really well. And Moose basically got himself a free lane. They've taken over top. They're taking over the triangle. Really good boards. Once more coming out from nouns to control both sides of the triangle this time. So your room to farm for beta is limited. You're kind of stuck farming up on Funnick. He's still going back for the Midas after the Vanguard. You need Stonebank to hit that. Timing on
Dendi.
Oh.
Dendi. Oh, he went for the pig stick and it kind of screwed him up. He could have swashbuckled away. It was only a 2-second cooldown. Stominant is also going to drop Husky with the impetus shot, able to secure. Nouns continue the domination here in this best of 3 series as bottom lane bait. They are hanging around, looking at Yamsun, but Yamsun's the one hunting them now. Lowdine, gonna get jumped, has no way out. Maybe could try for a deny on the Ancients, but can't even find that. And Nouns, they'll just continue this domination. Like, there's just no slowing these guys down.
Is under attack.
That's a really big loss for bait. Not just in these kills bleeding out, but even just the ancient stacks being taken away. That could have been a recovery path for Stonebank to at least help accelerate that farm post Battle Fury. Now you don't have that. Again, you're lacking map control coming out. We're not seeing Dendi able to make these plays. And we talked about the timings in this Pangolier, Mike. The defusal is pretty stalled out. Like, it's 13 minutes in. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it doesn't feel like it's coming out fast enough now. No great role opportunities coming out for Dendi to play with as well. And nouns just keep taking over this map. Like, it's shrinking. Sure, the map's bigger, but it just doesn't feel like bait's gotten the room to even play around the extra map here.
Funnick. Yeah, Funnick's got no room either here, John. Roll is out from Lelis. Kick back, and Funnick is just as good as dead. There's no escape. Moo able to pick up another kill here on the Visage. And while we have a second, Jonathan, may I just say, in this phylactery item, right, I've got some new tech. I think I've already kind of mentioned it to you. But Oracle can dish out about 1.2k damage in 6 seconds with his phylactery item at level 7.
Yeah, it sounds fun. It sounds fun when you can manage to pick it up on something like your Oracle. I don't know if that'll get
Let it
you
be
flamed,
known.
though.
Let it be known, Jonathan, before anyone else picks up mid-Oracle. I'm saying it right here and now. This item, right? This item, you can burst anyone in 6 seconds with Oracle. I'm telling you right now. It's free MMR, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, yeah. It's good for the core Oracle. Like, I can see that coming out. It's pretty massive. I think in this game for the Visage, just the fact that it triggers on Soul Assumptions, on Grave Trill, it's pretty big. Additional slow on top of your slow already. It is not a good time. And again, just being a feedback loop with Soul Assumption stacks, it's kind of ridiculous. Bait, again, this lineup, it felt like they should have been able to find stronger lanes coming out. I had high hopes for CM Ursa. It just doesn't play out the way you wanted to on Bait. We saw Funnick kind of get off to a decent start, but again, the big sticker is just Dendi up against Gunnar. Like, Gunnar, again, going for the Turbosaw, has a good matchup against a melee hero, runs it down well, and it just leads to this out-of-control situation for Bait. 8k behind at 15 minutes in. They've got the Battle Fury up in Stonebank. He's got some stacks to clear out in the Ancients. He's got some farm, but that doesn't feel enough. You know, you're going to need something like Funnick's Blink, BKB to be up. That's still a ways off. Dendi's still trying to finish up the Diffusal Blade, still quite a fair bit off, 400 gold away. Not too bad, but again, the timing just... It's not at the point where you can really dominate with that pickup anymore.
Funnick, he's on the vision right now, John. It's just so hard because the warding game of Nouns has been really on point. And they'll protect those wards very well. They will not allow anyone to get anywhere near that cliff. There's now the top tier 2 tower going to be under siege. With the Visage available, it makes it very, very quick to take down these tier 1, or rather tier 2s. There's Funnick getting caught by Lelis. He's going to be kicked back to the low ground, but they can't control him. There's Gunnar. And then they almost thought about popping the Doom there on Gunnar, but there's just no real point to it. He probably still just would have walked away. At least they are delaying the top tier 2 tower going down just a little bit, but ultimately Nouns are just going to move back in and they will secure it. Just really no stopping it. They're not going to be able to find any form of a trade either.
At the least, they get room down bot to get Stonebank pushing on that bot tier 1. They've got Dendi just farming up. He's got his full Diffusal ready to go. So there should be some play. Again, whether or not it's enough is a different question. I think they've got to really connect well with Funnick, get some good Doom uses out, get some good chain stuns with a Rolling Thunder as well. Kind of try to get a good position for Lowdine. Like, if you can, again, enable this freezing field to come true, you can still take these fights. It's just a little bit awkward with the angles.
At the very least, Stonebank now has a Blink Dagger up on the Ursa. So he does have some capability of joining his team and trying to fight back. In fact, we might see it right here and now because both teams are going to run right into each other. But this looks like it's favoring Nouns again, even by the tier 2 bottom tower. Gunnar just shreds him. Oh, one whirling death and they just disappear.
They lined up for it. Like, the control was there from Mu with the 8 coming up. And just a good angle out from Gunnar. These supports, they're just not that tanky. After the kill, straight into a push. You've got Visage and Inch. It doesn't take too long to melt these objectives. And for Bait, it's kind of getting out of control once more. Funny.
Yeah, being chased down. Pops the Doom. Gonna try and TP away. We'll be able to make it out. Just making sure he pops the Doom so he can TP as Lowdine's gonna show up. They're gonna try and go for something. We'll find Lelis here on the Earth Spirit. So the Doom does end up paying off in the end as Gunnar. Well, he's going to go for a bit of a run. Could try and fight back. In fact, he's doing a lot of damage. Chains away.
Ooh,
now a great balance by Yamsun. Oh, he lands on 3. Lowdine's gone. Stonebank, he's going to try and fight back. Still chasing down Gunnar. Can't keep up with him. He's down as well. Oh, what a boundless strike from Yamsun.
Oh, man. I mean, you've got to feel good about that on Nouns. The angle, it just comes out. They line up. It's like a school assembly out there from Bait. And they just take them down. Really, really great patience coming out there from Nouns, baiting out with Gunnar.
Look at this replay, John.
They just
Look at
line
that.
up.
This perfect. Like, he must have been so happy. Just pops the Wukongs. He's like, oh, they're still there in a perfect line. Amazing.
That's the dream. You know, it's like Yamson's the school principal and he's out there finding students to punish. They're all lined up for him to take out the stick. I don't know if
Yeah.
that happens in every school, Mike, but that's my experience.
Oh, not these days, Jonathan, but back in our day, you know, teachers, they had a lot more power, let me tell you. So they'll jump in
Yeah,
onto the
that's
Doom now. Funny. Is going to go down. Meanwhile, Yamsun, dropping rather low, is going to go down in the mid lane. So Yamsun, getting caught with his pants down here in mid, does end up dropping.
That's a pretty big kill for Bait to find. That's a massive streak on Yamson. More than happy with kind of trading off there. It's not quite enough to reel this game back your way, but now you've got the BKB on Funnick. We still haven't seen the biggest rolls from Dendi. There's still that factor to kind of consider here for now. They haven't had to deal with the Pangolier Rolling Thunder at all, I want to say. I feel like we haven't seen a roll at all, Mike. So Bait still has that play on hand. Just need to find the angles. They need to be a bit cautious clumping up. But again, if they find this position where Lodine's allowed to just freezing field up and you can hold them down with a Rolling Thunder, chase them down with your Ursa and Doom, you're not out of it for Bait. It's difficult to see those angles at the moment, but you can't count them out.
You certainly can't, John. It's not as one-sided as last game. Like, this is certainly a game where you can make a pretty good comeback. Like, problem is Roshan's going on now, so Noun's going to secure this one basically for free. Bait are going to take the time to take their Tormentor in the meantime, and so they should be fine in doing so. Lodine, be careful, sir. You'll be able to survive. The Tormentor almost got him. Nouns, they'll take the Roshan though. Aegis now up on Yamsun, so he'll have the secondary life available. And I suppose if you're Nouns, you're looking for a team fight into high ground. Whoopsie daisies. They'll smoke underneath vision. Stominan's still in the mid lane though. Does get caught, and with that, he's just as good as dead. Yamsun in the meantime has found Lodine. Lodine trying to run, but is going to get caught out by Lelis, and he is dead. Lelis wants a bit more, will not be able to catch Stonebank.
Yeah, but they've cleared out the supports. Again, simplifies the process for the high ground. Not the longest respawns, considering how low in levels they are, so it's not the biggest opening, but you still have that for the tier 2. You can pressure the tier 3. This is where Bait has to pull out those big guns. We've got to see the roll from then. We've got to see this good angle come out from Funnick and just everything will line up. If not, then this Rax will just fall.
That it will. Doom is out. They've got Gunner with that Doom. Yamsun, he's going to preemptively pop the Wukong's command, and they can't really fight into this. Funnick is just dropping so low as the Boundless. Not going to be quite there. Boundless turnaround here from Stominant. They are trying to chase down Moon, but Stonebank's gone. Lodine just runs right into his death. And now Dendi just trying to get out. Lelis is there. Spirit Vessel does connect. Magnetize out as well. Dendi should be able to survive through it and barely does. But they're forced to buy back to defend this mid-Rax. And Nouns, they lose an Earth Spirit, but that's about it. They'll back off with everyone else.
And again, Nouns, they protect Gunner really well. They kick him around. They just drag him away from that damage while he's doomed up. So you don't lose that big hero you want with a pretty massive streak on his back. And Bait forced to buy back. It's pretty big commitment coming out from Stonebank. It'll stall out his BKB. Again, we saw a decent enough fight. Like, that's as best of a Doom as you can hope for from Funnick without a blink. And as best of a connection you can hope for from Dendi as well without a roll. So it's showing some signs of life, but not quite enough to find an advantage or even a way of just reeling some control back in. Bait, they've got to play around like that. Maybe tighten it up a little bit more in execution. Again, once you get the blink up on Funnick, it kind of simplifies. You've got the Crimson Guard now to protect from that Monkey King. So you do have a lot more durability coming out from Bait. We'll have to see if that's going to be enough, though. Like, they still hit really damn hard outside of physical damage. Gunner is still a massive issue, and you've always got Husky with some great impetus shots if his positioning is right here.
Even the Ag's now up on Mu. That damn Silent as a Grave is now available on the Visage, so he's just even scarier in terms of that catch potential now as the Visage. Here we go, Nouns. We're going to try and move in onto that mid-racks once again. Aegis is still up for a minute and a half. Keep in mind, Yamsun with the Deso and the Orb of Corrosion just has so much minus armor for these buildings. Minus 12 on this mid-racks. And after the Assault Cuirass is gone, they just melt. As we'll move into the bottom tier 3 tower, they want Bait to try and force a fight here. Bait obviously not feeling too confident, but now they'll have the Ags up on Dendi. Mind you, he has no buyback gold available for this next team fight. But it is basically the all-in play here from Bait to try and make something work, as Yamsun does get stunned mid-tree jump, but he's going to be okay to find his way out. Husky will get lifted, but he's an Enchantress. He is not going to die.
Don't be mad.
And now the top Rax is the only one left standing, and Nouns are just casually walking towards it. Yamsun still has 35 seconds for the Aegis. He kind of wants to die, and he will do so. Now Funnick getting caught out, forced to BKB up to be able to survive through the onslaught of Mu. They'll pop the Doom onto Yamsun, but a nice geomagnetic grip from Lelis to pull him away. And it's kind of the thing with the new Earth Spirit shards as well, John. You could just kind of pull your allies away from that situation. There's not really too much Bait could have done about it.
With Doom down, this high ground defense, it's a lot harder. Like, they didn't have to commit anything from now. They still have that Wukongs as well.
Yamsun still being targeted, but another grip away. Lelis just not allowing the big jump in, and now the Boundless strike into the Wukong's command. Yamsun still being chased down, is eventually going to fall. So it's not a bad start for Bait, but can they keep going? The main problem is you've got Mu and Gunner to worry about. They're still hitting really hard, and they will take down Dendi. No buyback available on either Lodine or Dendi now as they go back towards the top racks. Tier 3 towers still standing, but not quite for long. It's now Stonebank. He'll jump in again. Mu's going to be the target, but look at the damage output. Stonebank is gone. So is Funnick. GG is called. They've seen enough. Another rough game here for the side of Bait, as now just so dominant in this best of 3 series, finding a 2-0 victory. And I'll tell you what, for the first series of the tour, John, Nouns, they're looking fantastic.